Stuart said. He ran his gloved finger over the fractured bone. Penny looked closer. Yeah, we'll have to wait for the forensic team to call it, but I'm pretty sure that'll be our cause of death. What could have led to that kind of trauma? There was no obvious blunt instrument in the well or in the brush around it that they'd found yet. All the same, this obviously wasn't a recent death, considering that all that remained were bones. The murder weapon would be long gone, but she looked around, trying to imagine the scene that had played out here. About 50 yards beyond was her grandmother's grassy backyard and garden. The home was a big 3-story farmhouse that had started as a single small house about 4 generations earlier and had been added onto since, story by story, wing by wing. Now it was spacious enough to house a very large family indeed, although it was only Elizabeth Renault who rattled around inside these days. Her mind came back to the murder case before her. If the victim died out here instead of the body being transferred after death, the blunt force object could have been a rock, a piece of wood, anything large and heavy. She squatted back down next to the skull, trying to imagine what shaped instrument could have made that fracture. "Any idea who this might be?" Stuart asked. She shook her head and then straightened. "No idea. I've asked my grandmother, and she has no clue either. She's pretty shaken up about there being a body out here, period." She'd questioned her grandmother about it repeatedly, but Mammy was getting older and a little more confused over the years, and keeping her on track had been difficult. She'd been surprised that her grandmother had allowed a film crew on her land to begin with. The Amish didn't approve of such things, but she'd allowed an art school cinematography group to use her property for a project. All innocent enough, but they'd opened the well to get some terrific shot, and they'd discovered the body. Penny's mind was already ticking forward with the facts they'd collected so far. The body would have been dumped after death. It went down feet first. That blow to the back of the head wouldn't have happened from the fall. She heard Stuart heave out a breath through his nose, and she looked up at him. Stuart fiddled at the badge on his belt, a nervous habit he had. "So there were no missing Amish men that your grandmother can remember?" "She's getting more scattered lately," she replied. "But she was clear about that. She said there weren't any. Well, besides my grandfather." Stuart angled his head to the side and met her gaze. "He abandoned my grandmother with 5 kids and left to live an Englisher life." She did the mental math. "About 50 years ago. No, 48 years ago. My mother was 12 at the time. She's 60 this year." "Are you sure he left?" Stuart's eyebrows rose. Her gaze moved back to the skull. Could this body be her missing grandfather? They were both eyeing the same possibility here, but if this was Dottie, the Amish word for grandpa, then what about all the family stories about abandonment and heartbreak? "At this point, I really hope my grandfather did exactly what Mammy said and left the family," Penny said. "My grandfather's leaving affected everyone. His kids all left the Amish faith and went English. They struggled to trust anyone after that. Tragically, all of them ended up divorced. Even my dad left me and Mom. History kept repeating itself. If he didn't leave, if he was killed, all that lost faith, all that lost ability to trust, all for nothing." But Stuart knew about her family's trauma response. Stakeouts led to a lot of time to fill, and they discussed all of their personal histories. She and Stuart knew each other better than anyone at this point. It's what made them such good partners. "Did anyone locate him?" Stuart asked. "I know you searched." "No, I never did find him." Her mother had asked her to look. Sarah had wanted to stare her old man in the face and tell him what his selfishness had done to them. He might have changed his name unofficially. He might have gone off the grid. Amish guys can do that easily enough. They have the skill set. Amish families lived without electricity or modern convenience. Their children attended their own schools, which ended at the 8th grade. They fed their family with subsistence farming and local hunting. A single man without children or a wife could disappear off the grid very easily, or if he wanted some social contact, he could melt into any Amish community without too much question, and he wouldn't stand out. Just another Amish man working as a farmhand or starting up some small business out the back.